How do? Beautiful day. I'm going to split today's vlogs, might be a bit longer than normal, into two parts. I'm going to talk about Alex Belfield. He was a YouTuber, ex-BBC journalist. His story I'm breaking in two parts. What it will be like in prison for him. He's just got a 5.5-year jail term. And what I think the reasons are he got locked up. The other one, it's relevant to this morning. Obviously, it's been a sad day for a lot of people. You know, we've had the Queen's funeral. I want to talk about what I saw this morning, and this will tie in with the Alex Belfield. I'm just going to call him Alex from now on, just to make it easier. Vlog. So, this morning, I'm out with Steve quite early. Couldn't sleep last night. There's a lad. He's about my size. Flat top, clean shaven, in full military gear, yeah? As close to a soldier on parade as you could get in Civvy Street, you know, if you got all the kit. I've lived where I am now for about 3 years. I have seen this lad pretty much every morning when I'm with Stephen, late at night, sometimes in the day, but he tends to stay away from people. There's an old lady lives near me. She's scared of him. He talks to himself a lot. Like I say, looking at him, he's quite an intimidating lad. I've tried to make eye contact with him. If I try and speak to him, he'll look down. Stephen goes near with him, he'll be off like a shot. So he's in full gear this morning, polished boots. I know why. You know, he's an ex-squaddy, probably Afghanistan, PTSD, quite definitely. I don't need nobody to tell me he's got PTSD. He lives in sheltered, supported housing near us. That's the only lucky thing for him. You know, he's in sheltered housing, he's got a roof over his head. But yeah, this morning, he's out in his full gear. I've never seen him looking like that. Polished belt buckle, the lot, because it's Queen's funeral, yeah? And he's an ex-soldier. Very sad indeed. But you know what? There's hundreds like him, PTSD and the like, on the streets. Homelessness in this country. If you're not from this country, I know it's a blight on society everywhere, but if you're not from this country, let me tell you what's happening now. And this is the sort of thing that Alex would be reporting on, yeah? People are coming to this country, illegal, across the channel, and we are putting them in the hotels, yeah? So, if people want to do that, that's fine. However, I want to see everybody who's homeless in this country put in a hotel. Put them in a hotel together. Yeah, a lot of people now, vast majority of them, other than kids, have worked, had normal lives like this guy, squaddies, a lot of squaddies on the streets, they've paid taxes, and for whatever reason, breakdown, mental health, mental illness, have ended up on the streets. If you're on the streets in this country, I believe this to be true still, you're not claiming no benefits if you don't have an address. Yeah, so not are you homeless, you know, and you might well have paid into a system. That's irrelevant, however, you know, because anyone on the streets, including children, should be able to claim something. It's just outrageous, absolutely outrageous. You see me now, I'm getting a bit wound up now, and I'm passionate about some things. So yeah, I'll tell you what you do. It's dead easy this. See everyone, if somebody's homeless in Manchester or Sheffield, yeah, we have job centres in this country. That's where you can go to get a job. They're like the old benefits office, yeah, where you sign on and everything else, go for interviews and stuff like that. Yeah, if you're in Manchester, any job centre, or Sheffield, any job centre in Sheffield is your address. So you register as a homeless person, you go in, and fortnightly you get a benefit check or whatever. Absolutely fucking outrageous that people on the streets can't claim anything. And we're putting people in hotels. Yeah, get all the homeless off the fucking streets. These are the things, you know, if I could do something about it, yeah, that's what I'd be doing, me. That's first thing I'd do. Get everyone off the streets. Right, the squaddy. What sort of life will he have him? Well, like I say, he's terrified of me, and the old lady's terrified of him. He's a big lad. He's always talking to himself. What sort of life does he have him? Social life, doubt it. Family contact, maybe, but I possibly doubt it. You know, girlfriend, boyfriend, quite definitely not. Yeah? But he's lucky in that he has a roof over his head. And that's the only way that he's lucky. So, Alex, YouTuber. I used to watch him on YouTube. He has a channel, it's still there. It's called The Voice of Reason. Yeah? Jokingly, I used to say the voice of treason. I know what treason is. However, people like him are called anti-establishment, yeah? And I'm not supporting him in any way with what he's done, because after reading articles, you know, it's not quite clear what he's done and how he's done it, yeah? I'll talk about that in a minute. So, the sort of things he would talk about the BBC being an ex-journalist. He had an axe to grind, which means he weren't happy with them. However, the BBC, I've got no love of them. You know, in this country, again, a lot of people might know, most honest people pay a TV license and that money goes to the BBC. I don't watch the BBC. You know, I don't support these rich ex-footballers who are on there, football pundits, chatting crap, preaching to people like me about immigration and things, you know, because they've got a platform, getting paid extortionate wages. For me, and a lot of people are, more and more people are stopping to pay the license. There's plenty on YouTube about BBC licenses and how to avoid the people who will come after you if you stop paying it. Other things, celebrities, I've touched on that. You know, celebrities and MPs who now have platforms on social media, a lot of narcissists out there. You know, they come on telling Joe Public like me that I should embrace this and embrace that or whatever, when they are so far away from it. You know, Leicester, let me tell you, Leicester, if you're not from this country again, or, you know, you don't watch mainstream media, well, mainstream media, no, social media, mainstream media won't be reporting on this. How rude a train. I'm going to continue. Leicester right now, we have got two factions from ethnic minorities, different religions going at it. I am not interested. Not interested why it has started. But what we have got in Leicester, you know, diversity, multiculturalism at its finest, is people taking to the streets looking to beat the shit out of people and desecrating rivals, religious churches and the like, yeah? There's people leading them, some quite prominent, yeah? And what they are doing is inciting people, yeah? It is hate speech, the stuff they're coming out with, you know? These people should be snatched from the crowds and locked up, yeah? If you have got someone committing hate speech, telling people to go find these people and do whatever to them, lock them up for 10 years or whatever. In prison, if you're found guilty of inciting a riot or mutiny, you're looking at 10 years. Lock them up. If the police, which is the case, if the police are worried about, you know, escalating the situation, send in the army, yeah? Germany, right idea, water cannons. Water cannons, I don't want people hurting with water cannons. What I want to do is get a loud hailer and I tell everyone on the streets, you know, the mob here that's looking for some other ethnic background or religion to trash, I tell them, still on the streets in 5 minutes, I'm going to use water cannons, yeah? Not to maim or injure people, but to cover them in dye. And then we'll come around after and lock you up for being part of this, yeah? But if police need backup, then you send the army in. Politicians, mainstream media aren't covering this. No one's speaking about it. Leicester, incidentally, Gary Lineker, ex-footballer, one of these BBC pundits, gets paid a ton of money, yeah? Leicester City footballer, probably his hometown, home city, talks a lot about diversity, multiculturalism and immigration. He's not in Leicester on the streets, is he, trying to calm it down? He's a million miles away. He's safe. His family's safe, his missus and his kids. There will be people in Leicester from both ethnic backgrounds and others who are terrified and are peace-loving people. Because 200 people on the streets rioting don't mean everyone is like that. I understand that. One of the leaders, I don't know his name, you don't need to know his name. If you go and look up Leicester, it's all there for you to find on social media, what's happening in Leicester right now. somebody on social media was talking about his brother. His brother is an activist, but in a peaceful nature, a really good man. But whatever his brother's doing, inciting people, totally negates that. So Alex, he's been in court for stalking, not in a historical, traditional sense. Yeah, that was made quite clear. What he's done, he has built up a social media following. YouTube, 350, 400,000 followers, plus 50,000 on Twitter and elsewhere. He has been targeting people. Now, according to the reports, and again, I can only go what the mainstream media reports are saying, some of them people he's been harassing for a long time, years, 7 years plus, maybe 10 years. I don't condone that. I don't know what form it is. It talks about using his social media platform, encouraging his followers to go after these people, emails and the like. Again, you know, me and Neil never know exactly what he was doing or whatever. So there's 8 people he's been accused of not traditionally harassing. So he got 4 not guilties. 2 more, he got guilties. 1 was a majority and 1 was a unanimous jury decision. And then 2 further charges on top. I think they were BBC presenters. Again, not historical or traditional, but stalking charges. 5.5 years he got. Without knowing all the facts, without being in court, without fair reporting, because one of the articles I read was from the BBC, so ex-BBC reporter slating the BBC on YouTube isn't really going to get a fair report. I don't condone anyone, though, harassing people, because it talks about this to the point that they were suicidal. Yeah? Again, I don't know, so I can't comment. But he's got 5.5 years. He would what I would call anti-establishment. He said a lot of things that I agreed with, not everything. And like my nan used to say, it's the way you say something. You know, I can look here and I can say something. fuck off, yeah. Look, it's different, yeah. So the way he put things across, very inflammatory. But wasn't scared to say what he thought. A lot of us are. Yeah, a lot of us, we see someone, we hear what they're saying and we think, yeah, I can't do anything about it and I'm not going to say that because I don't want any hate in my direction. So, in the pinned comment, I will put a couple of articles that I read if you want to go and look at them. Again, and this part's important, if he did harass someone to the extent that they felt suicidal, threatened, whatever, you know, that's not a good thing. I would not condone that in any sense. So you could read the articles if you want, make your own mind up. So what will life be like in prison for him? Okay, I've talked about celebrities, Boris Becker. Boris Becker, right, I told you, these soft jails, he'd possibly end up there. He went to a local jail, Boris Becker, because of his celebrity status, you know, got a job or whatever, doing whatever. These people aren't going to get a hard time from the general population. Alex probably has skills that will be useful to other prisoners. Letter writing skills. There's plenty of people gone in prison and helped prisoners. I could see him being one of them people. Our prison officers will view him, not quite sure. Again, he's anti-establishment. When I say anti-establishment, you know, what's going on in the world now, he's talked a lot about, you know, lockdowns, vaccine mandates and things like this, loss of freedoms and stuff. He was always going to have a target on his back. Like I said, if you go and watch a few of his YouTube videos, they were still up this morning. He goes at it. He goes at it. So, you can make your own minds up. 5.5 years, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Stephen, come here, lad. Parting shot. What I'd like to say about Leicester, what's going on, and this follows on from yesterday's vlog, right? Thanks to all the coppers, ex-coppers who commented, and a couple of emails received about training. Sadly, the police are woefully unprepared. A lot of people talked, who've been in a long time in the police, about new recruits woefully ill-prepared, underfunded for the violence that is happening right now in Leicester. 16 coppers last night were injured. You know, again, possibly long-term sick, possibly not returning to the job. We need to support these people. Yeah, the training is inadequate. I think a lot of people in job, including prison staff, are not prepared for violence. I know what's happening in prisons mimics what's happening on the streets with the police. Police are attending, you know, serious incidents. Some are getting involved and some aren't. Same with prison officers. A very good friend of mine was involved in an incident not too long ago where he got injured. Yeah? 3 or 4 staff trying to deal with a fight. 2 prisoners really going at it. You could say you could stand back and let them fight. However, if someone's getting the better, preserve life, whatever, he got involved. I did a few other staff, maybe a dozen staff looking on, talking like nothing was happening. It's real world. You know, we need to look at our police force, who we're employing, and we need to support these people. Stephen, parting shot. Come here, kid. Me personally, I'm glad today went off with no trouble as well. I know you're a good lad. You're a good lad. Beautiful up here today. Becoming a bit autumnal. It's quite muggy. Hope you're having the best day possible. Thanks for coming. I'll see you.